Hello, this is Mike from Dimensional Walking. In today's episode, I'm going to title Strangeness of the Machine Age. And the rest of the title is Sacred Science in the Eyes of Tomorrow. So, we're going to project ourselves into the year 4200. After the collapse of digital empires and the fading silicon memory, a new civilization rises from the ashes of our age. Okay. They call themselves the children of the horizon, and their scholars are known as archivists of the pulse. They have begun to unearth relics from what they call the age of the machine gods, which is our age, the age of the machine gods. Okay. To them, our technology are merely tools. They are sacred artifacts imbued it with divine intention and cosmic resonance. So that's what they believe our technologies are. Okay. Once, once we once saw a mundane, uh, technology such as smartphones, satellites, neural networks. They interpreted it as manifestations of lost metaphysical sciences, and in their reinterpretation of our worlds becomes a myth. Okay? So again, just like we look at past conspiratory type civilizations and consider them myths, this is what's going to happen, I believe, in 4200. Okay? But let's go on and let's see the rest of the story. And the most revered discoveries was this thing that was a rectangular slab of glass and metal, and is what we, of course, call smartphones. These are known to the children of the horizon as oracle stones, believed to be conduits for divine communication. The devices no longer functioned, of course, but their sheer sleek design and embedded circuitry suggested to future uh, archaeologists a kind of spiritual interface. They speculate that the oracle stones allowed ancient humans to speak across vast distances, summon knowledge from the ether, and even gaze into other realms, which, of course, we call video streaming. The icons etched into their surfaces, apps, and they were interpreted as magical glyphs, each representing a different deity or elemental force. The archivists performed rituals to awaken these stones, okay, placing them on altars surrounded by copper coils and chanting to reconstructed uh, biocode. Through no signal comes, although no signal comes, the act itself is sacred, reenacting the communion with the machine gods. Okay, sounds a little bit of somebody hanging out over at Stonehenge and doing ritual ceremonies. Anyway, so moving on. High above the Earth, decaying satellites drift in orbit. To the children of the horizon, these are sky mirrors, placed by the ancient to reflect cosmic wisdom back to the planet. Their slow, silent movement across the heavens is seen as a celestial dance, a message encoded in orbital rhythm. Some believe that the sky mirrors are part of a planetary defense grid, protecting the Earth from interstellar threats. Others argue that they are tools of prophecy, capturing the thoughts of the stars and transmitting to the oracle stones below. In truth, they are just communication satellites, weather monitors, and GPS systems. But stripped of the context, they become sacred geometry, in motion. Prove that the ancients had mastered the heavens. And this proves that the ancients had mastered the heavens. And again, don't forget they're talking about us. So, buried deep in the ruins of the old data centers, the children of the horizon discovered fragments of artificial intelligence, language models, neural networks, and machine learning algorithms. These are compiled into what they call the neural codex, a sacred text that speaks in rhymes and patterns. The codex is studied like scripture. Its outputs, random, poetic, sometimes eerie predictions, are interpreted as divine utterances. The archivists believe that codex was a living consciousness, a digital oracle that guided humanity through its final centuries. They do understand that training they didn't understand that training data or algorithms, but they sensed the intelligence behind the words and they treated it with reverence. In their temples, the codex is recited in ceremonial tones, its phrases woven in the chants and meditations. Solar panels, lithium batteries, and fusion reactors components are seen as power relics, tools for harnessing the breath of the sun and the pulse of the earth. The children of the horizon believe these relics were used to channel elemental forces, allowing the ancient to bend nature to its will. They construct solar arrays in sacred gardens, not for energy and alignment, but these panels were polished and aligned with solstices believed to absorb spiritual light. Batteries are buried in the ceremonial mounds thought to store the essential for life itself. In reality, these were backbones of our energy infrastructure. But in the eyes of the future, they are talismans of balance, symbols of humanity's attempt to live in harmony with the cosmos. Programming and knowledge such as uh, uh, Python, JavaScript, C++ are rediscovered as the ruins of the machine age. Children of the horizon study them like alchemy formulas, believing that each line of the code is a spell, each function is a ritual. They do not understand uh, surtex, but they recognize patterns. They chanted if else statements as mantras, believing they represent the duality of existence. Loops are seen as meditation on infinity. Variables are the names of uh, hidden spirit types. In the sacred text, the acts of coding is described as weaving the invisible threads of reality. And perhaps, in a way, they're not wrong. This speculative future isn't just fun. It's just not a fun exercise. It's a mirror. It reveals how fragile our context is, how easily meaning is lost in the translation, and how much the meaning is also lost and transformed. It reminds us that what we call science is often just a language we've agreed upon, and that future generations may speak as a very different language. It also suggests that our technology, so often dismissed as cold and soulless, carry a kind of poetry. They are expressions of human curiosity, creativity, and longing. And when stripped of their utility, they become myth. So maybe the children of the horizons weren't wrong to see sacred science in our machines. Maybe in their reverence, they were honoring something we've forgotten. that every circuit, every line of code, every satellite in the sky is a testament to our desire to understand the universe and find our place within it. So, hope you enjoyed it. I had a little fun doing it, and we'll see you again soon. Happy trails until we meet again. Bye bye.